Hey everybody, I thought I'd start a little series on the book of Daniel, maybe just reading one verse at a time. Obviously, we're going to start in Hebrew and then we will transition over to Aramaic, in chapter 2 and verse 4. So, starting off in Daniel 1:1, let's read it in the Hebrew. Bishnat shalosh lemalchut Yehoyakim melech Yehuda, ba Nebuchadnezzar melech Bavel Yerushalayim, Vayatzar alea. One more time, and I'll point to the words this time for you. Bishnat shalosh lemalchut Yehoyakim, sorry, I can't talk today, melech Yehuda, ba Nebuchadnezzar melech Bavel Yerushalayim, Vayatzar alea. Okay, and so let's start, first of all, before we even analyze the words themselves, I want to look at some of the cantillation marks here. So first of all, on bishnat, we have the conjunctive accent, or the conjunctive cantillation mark, munach. And so I'll bring you over really quickly to BHQ here. And in the conjunctive accents there, you can see right at the beginning of the BHQ commentary, you will see munach, okay? And so this is going to join the word to what follows. That's what conjunctive accents do. And so looking back at the text now, bishnat has a conjunctive accent. It's joining to what follows. What follows? Shalosh. And shalosh, if you look above the lamed, I'll just highlight it there for you. Above the lamed, if you're not familiar with the cantillation marks or the accent marks, the one that you see here highlighted, which looks like a schwa above the lamed, okay, this is a zakef katan, and the zakef katan is one of the most common disjunctive accents. And so what we see here is a pattern of conjunctive accent on bishnat, and then shalosh has a disjunctive. Now, it so happens that bishnat, it consists of two words. Let's highlight it there, right? So b is the preposition, and shnat is the feminine singular construct form, the year of. So in the year of 3. Now, interestingly, the construct grammatically or syntactically has to connect to what follows, and so how appropriate that there's a conjunctive accent there. And so the conjunctive accent here, when you see the munach especially, a very common accent, it is not a guarantee about which Hebrew grammatical form we're going to have, but it is a reading clue. It's a context clue that what you're reading, the word that you're reading, is in some way joined to what follows. And so we get here with this accent pattern, conjunctive, disjunctive, bishnat shalosh, in the year of 3, or we would say in English, in the third year. Okay, so together, the munach and the zakef katan, they form like a literary parenthesis there around that phrase, bishnat shalosh. Okay, so let's see what we have next now. So the next phrase, we're going to go actually as far as Yehuda here, because that has the atnach, right? The atnach, which, often it's said that it's the halfway point of the verse. We're going to kind of leave that alone for now. I've discussed that in some other videos. It's not really true, but it is it is a major disjunctive accent which often occurs around the middle of the verse. Okay, but it's a major disjunctive accent, and when you see the atnach, there is a high probability that your translation will require punctuation. Okay, so let's see how this goes. So we've got bishnat shalosh, in the third year, lemalchut. Okay, now le is the preposition, and then we've got malchut, which is going to be the feminine singular construct, meaning kingdom. So in the third year of the kingdom of, lemalchut, of the kingdom of, okay? Now let's look at the accent here. So I want to, we're in the wrong one here. Let's see, where are we going? Okay, so let's go back to the top here. So we're in BHQ here, the BHQ commentary module. And so we've seen the Atnach, whoops, sorry about that. We've seen the Atnach already, okay? And so what you see here is that we have a tifcha on the word lemalchut. Okay, now this is a construct, right? The form malchut is a construct form, and it has a disjunctive accent on it. But as you can see in the explanation, tifcha comes before the atnach. So anyways, they kind of have to be read together here. So tifcha, and so lemalchut, and then we get another munach, okay, of the kingdom or the reign of Jehoiakim, Jehoiakim. Now that closes out the construct phrase, right? There's the pre-genitive and the genitive, okay, or the construct form and the absolute form, however you prefer to call them. And then, so unlike before where we had the munach on a construct, here we don't. We have it on the absolute form, but Jehoiakim is syntactically heavily tied to what follows because we have a phrase in apposition, Melech Yehuda, Melech Yehuda, and that's where the phrase really closes out with the Atnach. So, of the reign of Jehoiakim, the king of Judah, period, or comma, really a comma here, I guess. So in in year of 3, in the third year, of the reign of Jehoiakim, king of Judah, okay, and now we come to the second, quote-unquote, half of the verse, Ba Nebuchadnezzar, melech Bavel, Yerushalayim, Vayatza Alea. And so on the last word of the verse, we have the siluk, okay? And so that's the end of the verse. It's other times been referred to as a sof pasuk itself, like those double dots, okay? But the second half of the verse begins with ba, which is a third masculine singular suffix conjugation, meaning he came. And so who came? Well, we expect the subject to come next. And so obviously the word that follows is going to be tightly tied to the verb ba, and lo and behold, ba has a munach on it. Okay? So ba, Nebuchadnezzar, Nebuchadnezzar came. Nebuchadnezzar came, and here Nebuchadnezzar is followed by an appositive phrase, a phrase in apposition, Melech Bavel, Melech Bavel. Okay, so Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came. All right, so now let's go back and look at the accents, right? And so, we've seen the siluk before, right, at the end of the verse. We've seen the atnach at the halfway point, right? We've seen the zakef katan before, okay? We've seen the tifcha, right? We saw the tifcha earlier. So we have a whole bunch of disjunctive accents that we are, that we've seen already, okay? And so now we're going to go over to the conjunctive accents, and we've seen, of course, munach already, okay? But here we get a new one, darga, okay? And so, I got to flip screens here. And so what we have is the conjunctive munach, okay? Whoops, sorry about that. And then the conjunctive darga, okay? So two conjunctives here, and then melech Bavel. And for that one, we have to go back to the disjunctives, okay? And there we see tevir, okay? And so conjunctive, disjunctive. He came, who came? Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon. Okay, so that phrase is kind of bound together there through the cantillation marks. And then we get Yerushalayim, to Jerusalem. Okay, Vayatza Alea. Okay, and so on Yerushalayim, right, we have to go back here. Okay, sorry, I'm on dorm duty. And we have the tifcha, right? Okay, so you can see that there. So we have the disjunctive accent, and then we get vayatza alea, which is a totally new phrase. You can tell that from the vav consecutive itself, right? And so we get a conjunctive accent here, followed by the disjunctive siluk. Okay, and he besieged it. Okay, vayatza is the third masculine singular, vav consecutive of tzade vav resh in the kal stem, and it's generally followed by the preposition al, and we're just going to translate this, and he besieged it, Okay? All right, so hopefully that gives just a little bit of insight into how the cantillation marks can aid us in the reading of the Hebrew text. All right, so now what I want to do is go over to the Leningrad Codex for a minute. And okay, now what I'd like to do is go over to the Leningrad Codex for a minute. Okay, and here you are looking at Daniel 1:1 in the Leningrad Codex, so you can read Bishnat Shalosh Lemalchut Yoyakim Melech Yehuda Ba Nebuchadnezzar Melech Bavel Yerushalayim Vayatza Alea. Okay, now we notice that in this verse there's only one cercillus, and there it is above Nebuchadnezzar. Okay, and so that cercillus, or the circule if you wish, directs us to the Masorah Parva note in the margin here. And there we see a lamed with a dot over it, which typically in the Masorah, when the lamed is by itself, is an abbreviation for the Aramaic word leta, which means there is not another. There is not another. Okay, so this is the only occurrence of this verse, okay, according to this Masorah note. But notice it's there is not another, or one time, malay, mem lamed. Now, malay means full spelling, okay, and so what's meant here is the fact that the u vowel is written plane vav, okay, or malay vav. It's written with the vowel letter rather than without it. And in addition, there is also an aleph here, okay, the quiescent aleph. And so this is a fully plane or a fully Malay spelling, okay? So they say this word occurs one time in its full vowel spelling, in its longest spelling, okay, in the writings, in the ketuvim, okay? One time, fully spelled out in the ketuvim. Okay, now, when we go over, however, I'm going to bring you back to accordance for a minute, and we look at Dotan's Masorah thesaurus, we see that there's a problem here, and what Dotan draws our attention to is that this form actually occurs, actually I'm on the wrong one here, so let me go back to Daniel 1:1. There we go, okay. So Daniel 1:1. We see that there's a problem. There's a big long comment here. And what we notice is that this form actually occurs 5 times in the Ketuvim. Okay, it occurs 5 times, and the other ones are in Divrei Hayamim Beit, that's 2 Chronicles 36:6. We get 2 Chronicles 36:7, and then 2 Chronicles 36:10, and 2 Chronicles 36:13. And so it's quite possible that this note would either have read 5 times plane in the writings, or simply 1 time plane in this book, 1 time plane in this book, in the book of Daniel. Okay, so that is the one Masoretic note that we get here in the Leningrad Codex. All right, well, I hope that this video has been helpful. Well, as time allows, I'll keep producing one video at a time, and I will, I'm not making any money off of it, so as time allows, I'll do that. And but in the meantime, I encourage you to leave your comments below, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Please tell your friends about it. Share the videos, and I encourage you to check out many of my other videos and watch them to the end. I am trying to get the watch hours up on this station, or on this channel, I mean to say, because once we hit 3,000 watch hours for the year, then I can start providing extra content at a very, very small subscription price. So I'll be doing a whole bunch of special videos before long, which is just going to be a $4 a month subscription rate, and you're going to get a lot more comment, or a lot more content, I mean to say, sorry, I'm tired tonight, a lot more content than what I'm able to offer for free right now, because, again, this doesn't pay the bills. So I appreciate your support for the channel, and I look forward to seeing you next time. All right, ciao, ciao.